Dear friends, welcome to Think BRICS. Today, we would like to present you once again the friend of ours, Lorenzo Pacini. The followers of our channel know very well that we have already made some interviews with Lorenzo, and this one should have been taken place in Tehran, in Iran. But unfortunately, due to events happened and continue happening this week, we could not do that, and we are here in Italy, so it's unexpected turn. And we are in the city town of Viterbo, walking on the street. Well, and we just would like to talk to Lorenzo about the situation happening in these days in our world. For those who is not aware of Lorenzo, he works and contributes a lot to strategic culture. That the website, please visit. Same as our friend Pepe Escobar. And the recent article Pepe Escobar wrote on strategic culture is dedicated to Iran. Actually, we made a video of ours on Think BRICS YouTube channel dedicated to that very tragic events happening in Iran. And today we would like to dive deeper into this discussion with Lorenzo. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you again. That's a great pleasure.
Actually, my first question is, did you read already an article written by Pepe Escobar?
Yeah, I did.
What can you tell? Do you agree with his point?
For sure. What is happening now is very useful for his attacking BRICS, not only as a geo-economic partenariate, but mostly as a kind of soft power for the international set that we are approaching to this multipolar chessboard. And attacking Iran now, especially before the BRICS summit in Rio de Janeiro, means to exercise a new kind of soft power against the multipolar new poles in the world. Because they know that attacking Iran, they are not only pressing in the same Iran itself, but they are moving Russia, they're moving China. They are still not moving directly, but as a consequence, India, and all the other countries of the Islamic world. And I would like to focus this, because the Islamic world has been one of the most important points in the previous meeting of Kazan. During the forum, many discussed about the huge presence of Islamic countries inside of BRICS. That was parallel to the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, which the forum will be in October, if I remember well, of this year. And this means that they will try to press a lot with this kind of soft power down all the Islamic countries to don't coalesce together. And in this way, they want to break this possible new front of pressure. And doing that, this weakness will not be only on Iran and Islamic countries, but also in the connection that they have with Russia and China, and in the pressure that they can both exercise in South America. Because this is very important. A new project in South America started like the new commercial port from Shanghai to Chancai, okay? Started just after they managed new commercial agreements with the old roads passing through Arabia and the Islamic countries. Also in Southeast Asia, which mostly Indonesia and Malaysia are Islamic Sunni. This means that they found a deal, and following this deal, they were planning the next step. So if they try to break the Islamic front, they will give a very serious punch to the BRICS partenariate. But instead of that, what we see now is that the world is coalescing, helping Iran, and the international opinion is mostly agreeing that Israel did something wrong. They are condemning Israel, and they are trying to let Iran arise with a new position in the global opinion. It's not so easy, because For many years, they have spoken about Iran as a terroristic state,
Yeah.
with a kind of a very bad reputation because of the regime, because of the Ayatollahs. And this is something that they are trying to reshape. But with this cohesion that we are seeing now, maybe the Islamic Front can finally found a new possible agreement to cooperate together. And with Pepe, I was discussing this some days ago, and it's so interesting that there are the standards to realize this. We have to see if there is also the political intention to do that, because maybe it's too early to create a kind of multipolar alliance of the Islamic states, because as you know, the different opinions in Islam, they are still dividing a lot, and we have two big problems for the Islamic world: Emirates and Saudi Arabia. Especially Saudi Arabia, which is actually created, has been created by United States, UK, and Israel, financial just to become this petrol power with the dollar. So we still have to see, for example, what is going to happen when petrol dollar will be kicked off. And Saudi Arabia will have to switch to another kind of market, another kind of trade. So that's one of the points that we will see how we're going to manage this, and which will be the possible solutions.
Yeah. Well, in our video, we made the statement, the idea, we think it is not the what Israel does on Iran. It's not depend on nuclear power at all. It's absolutely off that topic.
Yeah.
It's not what America or Israel, backed by the United States, doing. They want to, I don't know, break the connection between Russia, China, and Iran, because Iran became one of the core members of BRICS. So targeting their oil refineries, gas refineries. So they're trying to disrupt that backbone of Chinese industry, by the way. So I don't know. Then we know that it's well known between China and Iran. There is an agreement of trade and cooperation and so on, same as Iran has with Russia.
Yeah.
And recently, the railway that built by China to Iran,
It's a great project.
yeah, great project, finally is over. And the first train came from China to Iran, if I'm not mistaken, on May 25 this year. So it positions Iran in the center of Arabic world and off control of the United States.
Yes.
And unexpectedly, there is that nuclear power issue, and Israel is frightened and save Israel. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's it. You know, this rhetoric about the nuclear bomb to Iran, uh, it's running since 1889, in 1989. So it's already 40 years that we are talking about this issue, you know, this international issue, and it's still not true. So every time they try to accuse Iran about that, it was in the occasion of some very important international switch inside of the trade, of the commercial trade, that was involving, of course, the United States of America. In this sense, I think that we still didn't see the real power of China doing his side, doing his part in this problem, because China just said that they could support, of course, Iran, that they are ready to give their help, and that they are observing the situation. And observing the situation is something very, let me say, neutral, that can become something more and also more dangerous for Israel and United States. And on the same side, we know that they could also maybe, for example, start your special military operation in Taiwan, just to compensate,
Compense, yeah. Well,
uh,
for China, it will be
best
the best
moment.
moment.
But it's media attention now is on this, and we will see which will be the next hot topic. But using this now, they can plan which will be the following step. It will be maybe hidden by the attention of medias. And very, very, very important is the negotiation that are happening in these days. We have such a kind of 3-4 days of silence. Nobody's bombing. This kind of ping pong where we were bombing both sides, one to me, one to you, it stopped. And this kind of ceasefire, unofficial, means that underground they are working. And let me say, I think that China is having a very important participation, very important role in this phase of negotiations, because now they showed to the world, first, that Israel is a terrorist state. Second, that Iran is really strategically, militarily ready to effort a war. And this is nothing that they were really expecting before. Third, that the new international system, no more based on the American rules, is working, is effective. And this was a test also for the United States and Israel, in my opinion, because they saw that immediately after, many countries took their position and they said, no, this aggression is not admitted. We don't like it and we don't want to go on with this situation. So you need to find a solution. But this solution will be found with our help because we also have to manage our interests. And let's see which will be the consequences of the next days after the negotiations, because we could maybe have some unexpected solution. Iran is very strategic on a long term. Consider that it is an empire that has been defeated only once, during Alexander the Great, and never more.
The war with
People in
Russia.
Iran, yeah, exactly. People of Iran, they are very close to each other. They have a strong identity that lasts for centuries. So they know what it means to belong to their identity, their values, their culture. And this is something that we never have to mismeasure when you want to prepare a war against someone. Because you need to check which is the cultural situation, the anthropological asset. And Iran and Iranian people told many times, also in the last days, we are ready. We have already done a revolution. We can do another one if necessary. That's not a problem.
Well, actually, from the very beginning, the majority of world's media expected that Iran will accept the deal immediately. So
this means that they really don't trust Iranian people in Iranian doctrine, because
they don't know that very
well. They
well.
don't know very well. But this would be crazy. It would be a treat to the doctrine, Shiites and Khomeinian doctrine. And also the Supreme Leader Khamenei specified many times in his important speeches that he last the last days that their position will not change. They are like columns, they're staying in their position and they are ready to fight, and that they have many undisclosed solutions to apply. The fact of a nuclear bomb, we should read it by another side. They are doing the war to Iran because Iran has no nuclear bomb. That means exactly because if Iran would have a nuclear bomb, the nuclear doctrine of deterrence would be useful for all the Middle East to maintain a balance that actually is not being possible because United States of America, superpower with nuclear bomb, has invaded and colonized all the Middle East
East.
except Iran. Iran, please check this, is resisting without a nuclear bomb. So this is a great example of brave, okay? By very objectively. And what could happen, if they get a nuclear bomb for real? All, all, all the power of United States in the Middle East would disappear because they would have to, reestablish, rebalance again their pressure there, their presence. Imagine all the military bases. Imagine the trade, the control on the canals. It's something that of course, they don't want it. And who knows who experienced the Iranian doctrine by the Supreme Leader know that nuclear bomb is not admitted because of religion.
Yeah, he told that several times.
Several times along the years. It's not something new. Also, Khamenei said the same in the past. This means that they know which is the right thing to do, and that being ready for this situation, they prepared themselves with other strategic and military assets. It's so curious. We saw that they are bombing. They have been both bombing for such a long time. Okay, Iran is ready to do that for years, for the real number of facilities, of missiles that they have. And the Western intelligence didn't consider the true number that they were communicating, not the one that intelligence was taken by their ways. And so they arrived in front of the facts, and they saw that Iran is stronger
than they're supposed to be.
Yeah, they're supposed to be.
Well, when we are talking about Iranian nuclear program, but no one says about Israel's nuclear program.
Never.
International Atomic Agency visits the facilities in Iran, but they never go to Israel.
Never.
What if Israel has nuclear
The point is that
weapon?
In international law, an international agreement is valid only for the countries that are signing the agreement. And let me say, it's valid is a very generic and unsure definition, okay? We should specify better. The point is, Israel never signed any kind of agreements, neither the agreements about human rights, for example, okay?
That's a point.
That's very curious. So for them, it's not a problem if they go on with a genocide, for example, because for them it's not a crime, okay? About the nuclear weapons, this is the classic doctrine of the stronger against the weaker. We have nuclear weapons. We decide which are the rules for our nuclear weapons. We manage our stuff for our nuclear weapons. You don't have it, so you are first in a step down comparing to us. Second, why should we share with you information? We are stronger. We are leaders. We can do everything we want.
So all international law, supremacy.
Yes, that's a kind of supremacy. But they always affirm that. That's the point. And it's curious because this is showing us again the hypocrisy of this Western mindset. Because remember that Israel has a Western mindset.
Yeah.
The president Bibi Netanyahu comes from Poland, so that's so clear. And in this sense, we can see how all the Western countries that are connected to Israel. Remember, Israel is selling weapons to 114 countries in the world. It's a bunch of business. This means that they have many ways to blackmail many countries. That's a fact. And they literally bought the faithfulness of many countries. So that's why, for example, at United Nations, there was a interesting silence by some countries that could say something.
Yeah. Actually, about international organizations, I would like to talk. International Atomic Energy Agency recently, Mr. Grossi, declared that they did not reveal anything about nuclear weapon in Iran. But where is the report to the United Nations about that? Nothing. Because they had to do that. They had to report to the United Nations that we have not found anything. And the United Nations should have taken the stance against Israel and to defend Iran.
Remember that few days before the beginning of this conflict, Iranians got an agent from Mossad that was infiltrated by Iranian intelligence, who has stolen, they say, around 3,000 documents about the nuclear facilities of Israel.
In Dimona.
In Dimona. It was Thursday, and the attack was on Saturday. Okay? Friday. So check this. Very interesting coincidence. Very interesting coincidence. Iran got enough documents maybe to show to the whole world what truly Israel was trying to do and what was planning abroad in other countries. So very international influence. This brought to this conflict. Now, what is going to happen with those documents, we don't know. We can expect that Iran still has those information and that they will use it in a way.
Well, this is another explanation of what's going on in the world these days.
Yeah.
So, if Israel has something to hide, we can say, they use their military attack against Israel just to hide their internal research on nuclear program. Lorenzo, you have been traveling a lot in Middle East, in Asia, and your next trip will be in Myanmar. How do you what do you expect from Asia in these days?
In my opinion, Asia is becoming the future. It's showing us that it's going to be the future. Because in Asia there is, I will put just one thing. In general, in all Asia, not only one specific country, they have a doctrine. But for example, for Chinese is the Tianxia. That means everything that is down of the sky. This doctrine says that all the other countries, all the other peoples are friends to us. And the purpose is to develop mutual cooperation to success in a peaceful international set. This is very different than what is happening in the West, where, for example, in Europe, we have centuries of wars, aggressions, and this mindset of the other is enemy, my neighbor is an enemy. In this sense, Asia is showing us that it's possible to cooperate, and in this mutual help, we can provide for global growth, richness, technology, building the future together. And they are doing that, also ignoring some of the very stupid decisions that the West is taking, like trying to do a war against Russia, for example, okay? That will be completely suicide. And Asia is giving us also a new generation of leaders. They are looking forward to the future. They are discussing about who will be the leaders of 2060, 2070. This means that they already have prepared the decades before. And that's a great news for us, because we can expect that they will trendset a new shape, maybe also for the old continents like Europe and in general the West, because the West is getting little day per day. We have this reduction. Canada, United States of America, Europe, but just a piece of Europe. Every day less and less and less. They are not attacking the West. They are showing the West, isolating the West, letting the West take its own decision, like sanctions, okay? They are showing the West that the strategy of the West is failing.
But they're
And this is a
doing
true
it in a
example.
way that philosophically different, we can
Totally,
say.
totally different.
So
Totally
also,
different.
there, again, we mentioned Pepe Escobar before, and he mentioned that the philosophy of the West and philosophy of the East and Asia in general is absolutely different.
Yeah, it is.
So the approach is absolutely different.
It is. And this is a great richness that we should start to learn and try to understand, because it will be our great goal for the future.
Well, your trip to Myanmar, it's not, I don't know, maybe I am ignorant. Not so many people know about Myanmar. So what brings you there?
It brings me exactly a forum about peace. How to build peace in the world, starting from Southeast Asia and Asia in general, has a true living example. They want to test first in their region these new theories about an international peace aspect, and then they would like to suggest this to other countries in the world. This is a kind of experiment. They're like a lab where they are trying to see if this a philosophical different mindset is working and will have good effects, good results. And I really like this point of view by Asians, because they know that there is no better pedagogy than the example. When you show, all the new multipolar countries are doing that, when you show to the other that it's working, just live in that. You are living the result. You are staying in the result of your decisions, of your political programs, economical programs, financial programs, research programs. That's the best example. That's the most important teachment that you can give. You see, it works. And you can try to apply this paradigm to your world, to your civilizational world.
Well, I don't know if the Asian approach is applicable on the Western narratives. I don't know. Maybe we hope so. Lorenzo, we wish you a very good trip,
Thank you.
and I hope that peace talks will bring peace, not only talks, in our world. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.